I should have known Thanksgiving would unravel everything. It always did. The moment my mom tapped her wine glass, her voice bright and sugary, I felt the old familiar tension crawl up my spine. Lily's wedding was just beautiful, she gushed. So, Kat, when do we get to celebrate yours? A few polite laughs floated around the table. My dad didn't look up. He carved the turkey like it was the only thing tethering him to the earth. And Lily, she didn't say anything. She just watched me too carefully, the way someone watches a door they're scared might swing open. I put my fork down. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't make a scene. I already had my wedding. I said, 6 months ago. The silence that followed was so sharp it felt like the air sliced open. My dad whispered, barely audible, "We never got an invitation." That was the moment everything finally snapped into place. I reached into my bag. And that was when years, no, decades of secrets, favoritism, and quiet erasure finally crawled out into the light. I grew up knowing my family loved symmetry. Perfect photos, perfect milestones, perfect narratives for their friends, and the perfect daughter to place at the center of every one of those stories. My sister, Lily. I wasn't angry back then. I thought that's just how families operated. One child shines, the other steps out of the frame by high school. It wasn't just a pattern anymore, it was the family structure. My mom curated Lily's life like a showroom display. Dance classes, cheer tryouts, trophy shelves, staged smiles and carefully chosen lighting. Whenever I achieved something, science fair ribbons, an early college acceptance, my mom would dismiss it with a smile. "We'll take the picture later. Sweetie, I need daylight for Lily's headshots." I didn't fight it. I learned to adapt, to anticipate, to survive quietly. But moving to Seattle changed me. 3 hours away might not sound like much, but to me, it was oxygen. I built a life there, a real one. A small apartment with tall windows, piles of research notes, mornings that smelled like Athens, coffee. My job analyzing water and environmental data would never impress the country club crowd my mother chased approval from. But it mattered. It made sense to me. And Ethan, he saw me in ways my own family never bothered to try. He remembered things. He paid attention. His family did. To the first time his mother hugged me. She didn't release me like she was done checking a box. She held on warm, steady. They asked about my work, remembered details, listened. They weren't perfect, but they were present. So when Ethan proposed on a foggy June morning by the water, I didn't hesitate. We planned a small wedding. Quiet, real, just the people who loved us, or the people I thought did. I mailed the invitations early, carefully, intentionally. Signature required because I knew my family's habit of losing anything that didn't feature Lily. I triple-checked the addresses, refreshed the tracking numbers obsessively. Every single one was marked as delivered, and then nothing, no text, no call, no congratulations, not even an accidental in the family group chat. The wedding came and went, and silence replaced what should have been celebration. I made excuses. Maybe the mail got mixed up. Maybe the timing was bad. Maybe they were planning something. But deep down, an old ache whispered the truth. Someone didn't want those invitations getting through. And I didn't learn how right I was until that Thanksgiving night. After the wedding, the silence didn't just sit in my life, it spread. Days blurred into weeks. I called my mother. Voicemail. I texted my father. I'll call later. He never did. And the family group chat. My name didn't appear in it anymore. I wasn't removed loudly. I was erased quietly. One night, while washing dishes beside Ethan, I said lightly, maybe the group chat glitched, but my voice cracked. Ethan dried his hands and asked, did they respond to the invitations at all? I shook my head. Not once. He didn't judge. He didn't lecture. He just said, let's check the logs. He helped me open the email access history, something I never would have found on my own. There it was. One of my wedding announcements had been opened, then deleted, then permanently erased. And the device ID accessing the family email, not my parents', not a general inbox, Lily's. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just stared at the screen, the truth sitting heavy and cold in my chest. Because I already knew in our home, all mail went through Lily first. Appointments, bills, deliveries, call screening. She was the gatekeeper. She always had been. And one detail sealed it. My wedding had happened in June. Her massive, extravagant, spotlight-hungry wedding was scheduled for September. My little ceremony, even quiet and simple, could have stolen her thunder. And Lily does not share stages. Still, I searched for undeniable proof. I checked the signature receipts, for deliveries, for signatures, for packages marked received. And one of those signatures, clean, curly, unmistakable, was Lily's handwriting. I stared at it until my throat burned. She didn't forget. She didn't misplace them. She intercepted them. She erased my wedding. I almost skipped Thanksgiving. Almost stayed home. Almost let them keep pretending I didn't exist. But pretending was the problem. So I went. The moment I walked in, I felt it. That old, suffocating pressure to shrink myself. Lily stood near the fireplace posing for another photo. Her husband adjusting her hair like they were shooting a holiday catalog. My mother narrated details from Lily's September wedding for anyone who could hear. My father poured wine like an exhausted robot. Nobody asked how I was. Nobody mentioned missing my wedding. Nobody acknowledged anything. I sat across from Lily. She didn't look at me. Silence was her favorite weapon. Then the dinner script began. As predictable as always. Praise Lily's dress, her flowers, her guest list, her venue. Every compliment was a reminder that they showed up for her every time. While I'd gotten their silence, then my mom tapped her glass. Lily's wedding was just beautiful. So, Kat, when's yours? And that's when something inside me stopped bending. I placed my fork down. I already had mine, I said. 6 months ago. The room collapsed into silence. You got invitations. My father blinked like I'd spoken another language. We never received any. I cut him off softly. You did. I reached into my bag and placed my phone on the table. The screen lit the entire dining room like a spotlight, and for the first time in my life, I held the power in that house. I opened the receipt slowly, deliberately. Here, I said, turning the screen. For package deliveries. For signatures. The first one zoomed in. Lily's bold handwriting filling the screen. My mother gasped. My father leaned forward. Lily didn't blink. These were delivered April 23rd, I said. All for signed for. My father whispered. There must be a mistake. It's not, I replied, swiping. Here's the postal tracking log. Signature required. Verified. Then I opened the email log. And this, I added, is your family email account. My wedding announcement. Open from this house. Deleted immediately. Lily's husband stiffened. Lily, did you sign for these? She blinked too fast. I don't know. Maybe. I grab the mail sometimes. I didn't see any invitations. I let the silence answer for me. My father's voice hardened. You didn't see for packages from your sister? Not one. It's not my job to track everyone's mail. Lily snapped, the first crack in her perfect porcelain face. Mom reached for her. Sweetheart. No, I said. Let her talk. She's been talking for years. Lily glared at me. What's that supposed to mean? I didn't answer. I didn't need to. Her defensiveness filled the room like smoke. My father asked again. Why would you hide her invitations? Lily stood abruptly. Because everyone acts like Kat is so innocent. She doesn't even try and people feel guilty around her. There it was. The real truth. Not about the invitations, but about every year before them. I leaned back. So you erased my wedding because what? It didn't come with a 6-tier cake and a spotlight. That's not. She choked. But everyone already knew. My father swallowed hard. We would have come, he said softly. After missing everything else? I replied. After dismissing me for years? No answer. Just the weight of truth filling every inch of the table. I didn't lose my family tonight. I said. I just finally stopped pretending I had one. My mother snapped. Don't you dare say that. Why? I asked. Because it threatens the story you built. My father whispered. Kat, you didn't protect me, I said. You protected Lily. Lily sank back into her chair, shoulders caving in. I stood. I'm done begging for a place at this table. My dad reached for me. We can fix this. You can't fix what you won't admit, I said. I picked up my coat, walked to the door, and before leaving, I turned back. You didn't miss my wedding. You chose not to see it. Then I walked out. Quietly, cleanly. Finally, Ethan opened our front door the moment I stepped onto the porch. One look at my face and he didn't ask. He just wrapped his arms around me and held me while the shaking drained out of my body. No questions, no judgment, just presence. The next morning, his parents invited us for breakfast. Warm food, soft conversation, a place where I mattered simply because I existed. Helen squeezed my hand. You are family here, she said. Not because you married my son. Because you matter. A week later, Lily emailed a long, apologetic message. Therapy tinged, full of explanations I wasn't ready to read twice. I didn't respond. My father started calling more often. Small, tentative steps. I let him try. Then he found one of the wedding invitations Lily hid, stuffed in a garage storage box. He mailed it to me with no note. That was his apology. My mother never reached out. For once. Her silence wasn't a wound. It was an answer. I used to believe family was something you protect, no matter what it costs you. Now I know the truth. Family isn't who shares your DNA. It's who shows up, who listens, who stays. Sometimes the bravest thing you'll ever do is walk away from the people who never learned how to hold you. If any of this felt familiar, tell me where you're watching from and share your story in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more.